Hello everyone, my name is Gladdish and I am glad to see you. This is going to be a new episode starting every month on the month of every month this year. And yes, I know, summer's here, it's April, it's getting hot and I couldn't wear my black shirt or blazer. So please don't get me on that. And for this episode, we're going to choose most anticipated books and debuts coming out this month. And here's a list of the ones that I'm really excited to hear. First novel I'm interested in, Courtney Summers, All the Rage. And the first book I'm very angry to read and willing to read as well. This is not her first book. She has written stories that crosses romance, thriller, and the Walking Dead series all into a literature account of beautiful publisher. All concerning in, please stay calm, and this is not a test. For real, this is not a test. All the Rage seems to be more about women's independence and self-rights and respect. Going about a woman's decision to do things either to protect herself or to protect others to keep them from any harm. The second book, Ember and Ashes. It is written by a debut author known as Sarah Tahir, who lives in California. Commentators and reviewers have already claimed it as a creme de la creme when it comes to disengaging from the real world and escaping into another. It takes place in a fictional realm where two characters must work together to fight their way for freedom. And as one of the quotes from the characters is saying on the book's back,
I will tell you the same thing I tell every slave. The resistance has tried to penetrate this school countless times. I have discovered it every time. If you are working with the resistance, if you contact them, if you think of contacting them, I will know and I will destroy you.
Your whimsy threats don't scare me, book. I will read. I will avenge. This book has already come out in the past month, but it's by a well-known author that everybody knows and everybody must read. I'm talking about Holly Black's The Darkest Part of the Forest. She is the well-known author of the Spiderwick Chronicles, of the creepy and out-of-the-norm creatures, also mystical and majestic. Everything about the fey world of fairies, dwarves, elves, fairy kings and the flowers all come through the imagination. Holly Black, one of the most creative and fae-astic authors out there, and I look forward to reading her book real soon. Everybody's been waiting for Lindsey Cummings' second book after The Murder Complex, and her second book is finally being released, The Death Code. Dun dun dun! I know, exciting, right? It is an action-packed, blood-soaked, futuristic debut thriller set in a world where the murder rate is higher than the birth rate. That book list called Carefully Crafted and Chilling. She's not a new author, but she's a growing author, and she's like any other girl, just like you and me. Well, I'm not a girl, but you can't see that behind this veil of shadows right here, so maybe I'm neither. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, who knows? But she's an everyday person growing up, and you can check her out on her own YouTube channel at Lindsey Cummings Author. She's just like any other person, and you can find out what authors do when they're not working on a deadline.
I wonder if I can fog up one more than the other. Sort of worked. Did I seriously write this crap? That's a good line. That's a good line. I will never write a book this good. How do you do the Katniss braid? How do you do it? So much hard. How? Help! Yep. It's a lot of dust.
Obviously, we do different things when we're waiting on the deadline, but that's just one author. There are many others, and I have a few more coming out in this episode right now. Empire Knight is the second book to Age of Legends, written by Kelly Armstrong. With her Canesville novels, her Blackwell pages, and her Darkest Powers and Darkest Rising series, Kelly Armstrong has finished her second book to her Age of Legends trilogy. Sea of Shadows was her first book, and Moria and Ashen are back to continue their fight while the Emperor makes his final decision in this fantasy novel. Moria and Ashen are back, and we are waiting for the Emperor's response to see if they will go on this adventure or would he just slack back and leave the children to die. You can find out this month of April and find out if the Emperor concludes to do so or not. Another book that I'm very interested in is Pharaoh by Jacob Gray. Little is known of the mysterious Jacob Gray. He is said to live in a big city in the USA, where he wanders the streets at night, dreaming up of his dark, twisted tales. He's had a deep love in animals and even talks to crows himself, although no one knows if he understands their replies. This seems to be Jacob Gray's first novel about a boy abandoned and forced to live off the streets, learning that he can actually talk to animals, or a certain type known as the crows. The graphic art pulls me in, and the idea seems dark and mysterious. Creepy things crawl in the darkness, and we wonder if he can communicate with all of them. I like this mysterious author. I think I'll give him a try. And it's here! And it's finally here! After 66 years of waiting, the second book is finally here! Well, it's actually coming in July, but I want to let everybody know and get excited now before we have to find out in the next few months. After Harper Lee's debut of Kill the Mockingbird, the story comes back with a sequel, and Scout is all grown up in her next book, Go Set a Watchman. The original was a classic, a fan favorite for both writers and readers. To Kill a Mockingbird will be remembered for all time, so this makes me wonder how her second book will adapt. It is a step back onto nostalgia lane, where we get to read about those characters and where they've been gone all these years. We wonder if the sequel will keep up with the original standards, if the story becomes a soft reminder of our favorite characters, or does Harper Lee give an actual plot, a motive? Perhaps something happens to Jem and Scout on their way back from memory lane. Oh, I do hope nothing happens to Atticus, but we will find out in July, and we'll have to just wait patiently for that to help. Gotta get it now. For fans of the Divergent series, The Fifth Wave, and The Hunger Games, comes out this new dystopian novel, The Fearless by Emma Pass. It is a fast-paced, futuristic thriller telling the story of a 17-year-old Cass and her fight to protect her younger brother from an imaginably terrifying enemy. I know, another dystopian novel. Like we need it. The dystopian phase began with The Hunger Games and it has exploded with popularity. If you're starting to get tired of dystopian stories with the same action scenes, choose another book. But at least look at Emma Pass's book first for more suspense and plot twists than any other dystopian books you might have read. And then our last book on the list, In a World Just Right, written by Jen Brooks. Jen Brooks is not a new author, having worked on her contemporaries, but this is her debut novel, and please view and respect it. It looks like the Muggles haven't lost their creativities just yet. The novel tells about a boy in sophomore year who finds he has the imagination and ability to either dream or create realistic worlds that is within his control. Imagine if I can create any world of any idea I have and just walk among it as freely as I belong there, enjoying, sampling, and tasting everything. Oh my god, it would be paradise! It is almost like a genie in a book, but is the powers real or are they imaginative? You have to read and find out as soon as it comes out this month. Well, that's our episode for today. There are many other authors, many other books debuting or releasing this month, but there are so many I can't just squeeze them in all into one little episode. So that's just gonna have to fill up your empty stomachs for now. This is my list of most anticipated books that I want to read next, and wait, Fearless comes out in 2 days? It does, it comes into the bookstore in 2 days. I gotta hurry, I gotta pre-order now. Well, excuse me, I must pre-order. The door keeps on knocking, rapping at the door. Nothing answers. Nevermore! There she blows, the devil will. Harpoons me, Gladdish, yo ho.
Yes, Moby Dick is coming out. No, don't get that idea. Moby Dick is the name of the whale and a full-length movie coming to bear its mark in this classic story with an old-time sea dog show and a humongous CGI whale attacking